Oh, what the dark times can teach us. The brokenness that comes with the dark times has been a good friend that I didn't really want to know. What have you learned from your dark times, the times when you've been broken? Today I'll share 3 lessons that I continue to work on to allow myself to experience the benefits of dark times. And at the end of this brief episode, I'll recommend additional resources for helping us learn from these difficult times. Hi, this is Marlena Fiol from Becoming Who We Truly Are. If you're searching to better understand and to better become your truest self, you've come to the right place. Please join me on this journey of discovery by clicking the like button below. It really matters. I've learned a lot about the brokenness that accompanies the hard times. The word brokenness is even in the title of my 2020 memoir. Someone interviewing me for a podcast at one point asked me, what does it mean to be broken? My response was something like, well, it's a feeling of being so beaten up that even the anger and the rage finally disappears. Hopelessness, not even any fight left. If the desire to get up and start over again, if the anger is gone, and if you believe it's just not worth the heartache anymore and you're on the floor, that's brokenness. The first lesson is that it's easy to be overwhelmed by the dark times. Most of us try to avoid going down that path, but the truth is each of us has experienced some form of brokenness in our lives. If you haven't been there yet, you will, I assure you. Maybe it's the death of a loved one, a divorce, maybe the loss of a job. Certainly there have been a lot of losses during COVID-19. I've made many mistakes, and my typical response to these has been to become angry and to blame others for the problems I was facing, especially when I was young. This often fueled further mistakes. Strategies like anger may work for a while, but the truth is, eventually the problems will continue to mount until it's impossible to have anger sort of hide us from them, and we eventually become overwhelmed. Lesson number 2, when the dark times do come, it's really important for us to remember that we're not alone. I never felt so completely broken as I did when I broke up with my first husband, a really good man named Steve. There was no point in going on. I just felt there was no point in even living. For hours, I lay curled up in a fetal position on the floor. Too often when we sit in that kind of broken place, we feel isolated and we feel alone in our suffering. And it seems to me, at least for me, it's been true that just knowing that I'm not alone lightens the load. I've had to learn this lesson over and over, but in the end, it's always been true that I was not alone when I allowed others in to help me with my suffering. Third, brokenness opens a space for growth. Much as I still wish to avoid the dark places, like many of you, I'm aware that the resulting brokenness actually opens the space for healing to occur. Like Leonard Cohen's anthem says, there's a crack in everything. That's where the light gets in. In fact, the broken moments in my life have been great learning opportunities, even when I resisted them. They helped me develop resilience, and they helped me find new strengths that I didn't even know I had. During those dark times, I had no choice but to look in new places to try to find answers that I had not found. The next time we find ourselves in the midst of dark times, let's remember the words of Khalil Gibran. Out of suffering have emerged the strongest souls. The most massive characters are seared with scars. To learn more about what the dark times can teach us, we recommend the following resources. First, a TED presentation by Andrew Solomon, How the Worst Moments in Our Lives Make Us Who We Are. And second, for more on what I've learned during my own dark times, we recommend my memoir published in 2020, Nothing Bad Between Us. The web addresses of each of these are in the show notes below. And remember, we are together on this journey.